Hello and welcome to Fit to Box channel. Please like and subscribe and don't forget to jab that notifications bell for all my latest uploads. Today I'm joined again by Damien, who looks like he's on his way to a job interview, but he's put his tie on, he's put his shirt on, he's got a waistcoat on. He didn't send me a memo. I've got my Kronk t-shirt on. Anyway, so this discussion today is about the upcoming fight this weekend between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. Okay, now, first thing I want to start off with is £19.95 pay-per-view.
For what? To watch them dance about?
Exactly. £19. I nearly fell off my settee when I saw £19.95. This apparently is an exhibition with, is it 8 rounds?
Yeah, the details keep sort of changing the closer we get to the fight. I think it is 8 rounds, but then I think something came out this week which basically said they're not allowed to knock each other out. There's no referee, there's no winner. I'm like, well, what are they going to do? They're just going to just circle each other around and throw a few punches out, and that's about it.
And have they told Mike Tyson that he's not allowed to knock out Roy Jones Jr.?
What's he going to do?
I mean, Roy's also said earlier on to say that basically if he tries to hurt me, then it's going to turn into a fight, which obviously if you're paying £19.95, that's what we want. So it's a bit of a strange one, really, because if it is an exhibition, like the exhibitions that Mike Tyson did with Corey Sanders, that type of thing, it's not pay-per-view, it's not a fight, it's a circus, it's nothing. And if anybody who is paying £19.95 is thinking that it's going to be a fight, there's going to be a massive amount of people wanting refunds.
There is. You're getting to the point where all we're going to have is two great legends of the sport being rolled out into the ring wearing shorts and gloves. That's about it.
Yeah.
If they're not allowed to engage as they would have, Roy Jones more of the boxer, Mike Tyson more of the sort of brawler, getting inside and throwing some bombs. If they can't do what they do best, then why are they even there? I don't get it. As the weeks have gone by, it's gradually come less and less and less and less, and then you're like, hang on a second. They're just basically just going to stand in the ring and just circle each other and throw out a little bit of a punch and bob and move, and then that's it.
So we're basically relying on Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.'s pride to go, we're not going to do this, we're going to fight. That's what we're relying on. Now, you're relying on, from what Jones has said there, you're relying on Mike Tyson throwing a punch that lands a little bit clean, is a little bit tasty, and Roy Jones goes, no, that's not part of the deal, and puts one back on him, and then is there a referee in the ring? Is there even a referee in there? I'd imagine there's got to be a referee in the ring. I mean, the fact that they've said there's no judges is ridiculous.
No. There's no one sitting around the ring. I mean, the only people sitting around the ring is us, watching, through the TV. So there's got to be someone in the ring to say break or go through the usual procedures of a boxing match.
Because let's be honest, most people are thinking Mike Tyson's going to come back, be like Mike Tyson of 1989, knock Roy Jones Jr. out, then decide that he's got the hunger back and he wants to challenge for the WBC title and start boxing again. That is really what people are genuinely hoping, even though that is a fantasy. Because of how old he is and how long he's been out and all of this.
Yeah.
But if it is an exhibition, then it ain't going to prove nothing anyway. I don't get what they're trying to achieve. I know they're probably going to raise some money for charity, so I get that.
Yeah,
but
that's a good thing.
That's a good thing, but you've got to sell what you're selling, and at the minute, even now, we don't know what they're selling. Well, is it a fight or is it an exhibition?
You revert back to what I just said 2 minutes ago. It's just them in shorts and gloves.
Yeah. See, if they turned around and said, look, this is an exhibition, it's 10 quid. It's 10 English pounds, fair enough. But 1995 is proper pay-per-view money in the UK. That is a big fight with a good undercard. I don't even know what sort of undercard they've got. on this?
I think there is about 3 or 4 fights, but I don't think it's anything that I saw the names, but nothing really jumped out.
No. So really, people are paying their £20 for the big main event, which looks like it may not even be a main event. Anyway, we're going to carry on as if it is a proper fight, because otherwise I don't think there's any... If it is an exhibition in that way, where they're just having a little dance around and where everyone's going, oh, there's Roy Jones Jr. and he's just come into his theme tune, and oh, Mike Tyson's got no top on and he's got his no socks and his boots on. Oh, this is great. If it's that, then we would finish this now, to be honest. So we've got to go on the fact that this is going to be competitive in some way, and hope that it is. So let's just go. As you mentioned, it is the classic boxer, Roy Jones Jr. versus the puncher, Iron Mike Tyson. Okay, so when it comes to, first of all, ring experience, two of the most experienced blokes out there, but obviously it was a long time ago for Mike Tyson. It was a little bit more recent for Roy Jones Jr. But there's no way that from their ring experience, they're not going to be phased in any way by this.
No, not at all. I mean, you look at Tyson. Obviously, came on the scene late '80s and was just explosive. Roy Jones Jr. through the '90s was probably the best boxer at that time, sort of pound for pound. So ring experience and what they've done in the past is really, you can't put a question mark over it. They've been there and done it. But I'm more worried the nearer we get that it's just going to be that kind of thing you've said there. It's going to be, you're going to see them walking out and there'll be an atmosphere and you'll be like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. It's Mike Tyson coming out, into a boxing ring, and it's Roy Jones Jr. And then what happens after that is kind of going to be such a, well, from what we're reading about, it's going to be such an anticlimax. But I'm just hoping. No. We're doing this now as if it's going to be a fight. Damien, we cannot entertain the idea that we will pay £19.95 for a circus. We have got to accept. That's what we're being told, isn't it? Yeah, but we've got to accept that Mike Tyson is not going to be doing this for nothing. He's going to get in there and try and smash him. Especially what gets me more so as well is that the way they've been training. Have you seen the footage of Tyson on the pads and things, and getting body bags and things, and he's really been letting it fly. And it's only been like 10, 20-second little clips, but if he's doing all that to get in the ring and not to do that, what are you doing? Yeah, so absolutely. Yeah, he is. He's going to put one on Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. is going to put one back on him, and it's going to get crazy. It's going to be the best £19.95 that we've ever spent. You're just saying that. Are you going to pay £19.95 to watch him? No, nor me. Because I'm as much as I'm kind of intrigued by it. It unfortunately falls into the category for me of McGregor, Mayweather, McGregor, Pacquiao, and all these other things that they're talking about, and Mayweather fighting Logan and YouTube fighters, and I'm just like this. There's boxing, and then there's this kind of little entertainment sector which is sort of veers off. And it's falling into that for me. I think if it was £15, I think £15 was my limit. I think in my head I was thinking it's worth 10, but £15 was my limit. I'd pay 10. I'd pay 10. I'd pay 15. Yeah, easy. Yeah, pay 10. But £19.95, he's making it sound like it's a proper full bill. The best of the best against each other in their prime. I mean, we watch fights together, and that's what we're paying for. £20-25. We're paying that money to watch good main events, good cards. We're watching that when we watch boxing together. So to pay that kind of money to be watching something that's just, well, what are they doing? Well, let's just veer off here. But I've heard that AJ versus Pulev is £24.95. What are you doing, Eddie? Eddie, what are you doing? Firstly, making money. Yeah, I know he's making money, but he won't make as much money because, firstly, there is going to be a backlash against Anthony Joshua's comments about buying from black-only stores. So a lot of people will be thinking, right, I'm going to boycott. And then you put it at £25. A lot of people there will be thinking that's too much. Is £25 going to be the new price point for pay-per-view? Because, £25 £25 is the sort of figure I would have expected, maybe possibly 30 for Joshua Fury.
Yes, 25. Yeah, worth it. Yeah, that's worth
so
it.
So if we go back to Wilder Fury, wasn't that 25?
Yeah, that was worth
Wilder
it.
Fury 2.
Yeah, that was worth
25. It. So that kind of figure is for something that is huge.
Yeah, not Pulev.
Pulev is not a huge fight. It could be a banana skin for Joshua, but it's not the likes of the Furies or whoever else that's really going to be pushing him. You know.
Anyway, I've diverted us off a path there, but let's get back on. So age-wise, Mike Tyson, yes. Roy Jones, age 54, Mike Tyson, 51, Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
I don't think age is going to be a factor, apart from the fact that they're both old.
Yeah, well, I've also heard that, I think you were saying there it's 8 rounds. I've heard since, which I didn't realise, it's 2-minute rounds, not 3.
Yes. So even less value.
It's kind of amateur rounds, isn't it, really?
Yeah, even less value for it. They're actually doing less than a women's championship fight, which again is 2-minute rounds, but at least they're doing the full distance.
Yeah.
So
it's just if I'm allowed to say this without swearing, it's a bit of a polished turd, really.
Yeah, you're allowed to say that. I would say that's well put. We're still hoping that it's not going to be. We're still hoping.
Yeah, of course.
He's going to be fantastic. So power, obviously, that is with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
He'll always have that power. You can see that in his training. Speed. I mean, he was fast. Tyson was fast back in the day. He still looks quite fast now. Roy Jones Jr., when I've seen him on the paddles, looks really fast. Really fast. Yeah. Not as fast as he was 30 years ago, but still fast enough.
Yeah, of course.
Skill, they've both got skill. They've both got the moves. Yeah. The only thing that will be sort of diminished will be the speed. I think the speed will be at a lower speed. They'll still be fast, but lower than what we're expecting.
Yeah, I think where you sort of see the difference, and for me, this is going back to, was it 2003 when Tyson fought Lennox Lewis? It's not so much the hand speed that diminishes, it's the head speed. Because Tyson was used to roll and then twitch and punch off the twitch. And then when you saw him in his later fights, the head movement wasn't there. He would still be throwing the punches, but he wasn't rolling around and bringing the punches around. He was just sort of more static and throwing the punches. So that side of the speed, the sort of body movement was a little bit less. But, you know, for 30 seconds, for a minute, he'll do it, but he's not going to be doing it for the duration.
So what about chin? I mean, Roy Jones Jr. has had some bad knockouts against him. So, you know, from a safety point of view, if Mike Tyson does land, Roy Jones's punch resistance is not what it was. We could be in a very, very dangerous situation.
It's potential. If someone throws something, or like you said, Tyson really put some mustard on it. I think the fight with Roy Jones against Macronelli, that was a really, he fell like a tree. It was a horrible knockout. So as you get older, your sort of punch resistance and things sort of fade off a little. So, you know, if we're hoping this turns into a bit of a tear up, if it does, it's not going to last long. Someone's going to go.
Yeah. And Mike Tyson, towards the end, he didn't really want to fight, did he? So there was people sort of putting him down. That, you know, it was a bit like he couldn't really be bothered to be there. So but he has when people have hit him, really, he was hard to hit for a start. So it wasn't really hitting him. So if his head's not moving as much, then of course he's going to be getting hit more, and he's older. What about stamina?
I'm not sure if stamina will play a factor, because if they're doing it's just 2-minute rounds, they're resting as half as much as they're fighting. So 2-minute round fight and then a minute's rest. You know, it depends what pace they go at, but then obviously it depends what also they're doing when they start fighting. Yeah,
it's fair to say that as the rounds go on, they're probably going to be doing less.
Yeah, maybe to start with, Roy Jones might want to do a bit of a sort of circle. I imagine Tyson to be in the centre of the ring, and I imagine Roy Jones going around there. That's how I'd imagine them to sort of set themselves up.
Yeah.
Tyson being the aggressor coming forward, Roy Jones working off the back foot, counter punching. But I imagine if it goes round 7, round 8, they're both just going to be standing there, just hitting gloves and what. See?
Okay, what about activity? The last time they fought, obviously, it's been 15 years since Tyson has last fought.
Yeah, well, isn't Tyson's looking at. I can't remember how many times he fought after fighting Lewis, so that's going to be like 205, 206 maybe. So Roy Jones has been more active more recently.
Yeah.
But whether that really will tell. They've both had a long time off, haven't they? They've both been off a good probably what Jordan 10 years maybe.
Might be a bit less than that. But he's also had them horrendous knockouts against him in that time as well. So who has treated their bodies better? This is an easy one.
Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Jr. He's always been in shape. He's pretty much always been, in fight shape, really. And then you've got Tyson, who's got his weed farm. He's been smoking lots and lots of weed over the years. He's ballooned up in weight. He's come back down. He looks in great shape now. I have to say.
He does. Yeah.
He's had his. We put on that last one where we did the simulation. We mentioned about the T cells thing he was having. So
So I'm not sure how much effect that has. I mean, obviously from what I've seen through his training, he looks in great form. There's those little, but then people think, oh, Mike Tyson's back. This is not the 1988-89 Mike Tyson. You're seeing him in a clip. The actual video is probably 2 or 3 minutes, but it's lots of like 20-second clips. So because
we don't know after that, do we? We don't know after that 10-15 seconds of ferocious punching. I mean, he may collapse. He may collapse on the floor and go.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this fight, who's got the better jab?
Jones Jr.
Yeah, he should be peppering him with the jab, moving, shouldn't he? It should, if he's going to do that classic sort of boxing, I mean, it could turn into a masterclass if it is that Tyson just hasn't got the engine to move forward enough. And of course, Tyson, he said in his documentary about the fact he's always had like asthma. So smoking of the weed over all them years is not going to help his asthma. Always a short round fighter in terms of he needed to get him out of there, which he normally did. And then what we've got power punches. Obviously, the power puncher in this is definitely top.
Of course. Yeah.
Will to win. I think they'll both want winning.
I've got to say that's pretty even for me. Both will have pride, so which is why that I think that when you say there that the exhibition word is a bit loose, because I'm sure if something lands that's a bit tasty, that they're going to want to retaliate. Yeah. Same way that if we were sparring and you sort of spar with people, but if you catch somebody with a good shot and it makes you wince a bit, you want to give them one back.
Yeah, of course.
That's just a natural thing. And most fighters, most boxers that get in the ring and have sparred, you've got that competitive edge, because most people, when they spar, they're doing it because they're going to compete. And if you're competing, you want to win. So when you're sparring,
the same thing in sparring though as perhaps the exhibition is, if you lump me and then I give you a couple back to sort of even it up, at that point I then lower it. You up the tempo, I up the tempo, and then I lower it down and you lower it down, and you're back to sparring, which is you're back to exhibition. Yeah. In a fight, that person raises it, that person raises it, that person raises it a bit more, and if they're getting on top, that person will finish the fight.
Yeah.
Oh, we're being told that they can't finish the fight with a knockout. So, for me, if that is the case, then that's why I'm not paying £19.95 and I'll watch it on YouTube the next day.
No, because from what we're being told, that means that if they're getting the edge, or one of them's getting a bit of an edge, they've got to mentally go, oh, hang on, I've got to bring it down.
I can't see Mike Tyson doing that.
I don't know. It doesn't sound right, and I just can't see it. I just think Mike Tyson or Roy Jones Jr., if one of them gets a bit of a sharp shot in, they're going to want to give one back, and then it's going to just...
I think their pride as boxers, and I know this is not really part of their legacy, but it will be.
No.
When it's all said and done, it still will go, this person fought this person and this person got the better of him, or this person knocked him out and he shouldn't have done. It'll still have that to it for all time when people look back.
Yeah, of course.
Very much in the same way that when they refer back to Muhammad Ali and his computer fight against Rocky Marciano. I mean, it wasn't even a fight, but there's still a result there that can be referred back to in history. So, okay.
Yeah, but Muhammad Ali didn't like that result, did he, either?
No.
Because I think Marciano, as it calculated, Marciano won it, and Ali was like, there's no way he would have beat me.
Well, the computers back then wasn't very good, let's be honest.
No.
It was like
about the size of that house back then.
Yeah, it was just a calculator, really. You got more on your calculator in terms of memory and stuff. Okay, so who wins?
What? Tyson Jones Jr.
What do you mean? What? We've been talking about a fight here. Come on.
Yeah, but nobody can win, can they? So you're saying who wins, but no one can win.
What I'm saying is, at the end of the 8th round, when both of their hands are raised, is one going to be absolutely battered and it's clear who's won, or is there going to be an ambulance at some stage and one of them going, I didn't mean to hit him that hard?
Yeah. Off the rules that we've been given, Roy Jones Jr. 100%.
Yeah, just box him, weather the storm, and outbox him.
It'll be like 500 punches against Tyson's 150, 200 punches. It'll be something like that. He'll just be punches and bunches, combinations. Yeah. We'll just keep Tyson the end of that jab because he has to.
Or the alternative, Mike Tyson comes in, savage, smashes him, lands some punches.
Yeah.
Roy Jones Jr. goes down, staggers up to his feet. The ref's just thinking, hold on, I need to tell Mike to stop punching. But Mike's lost it, he's going to smash him. And he comes across and knocks him clean out. Yeah. And everyone's worried about Roy Jones, who's face down on the canvas. That's the reality, isn't it? Of this fight, that is the worst case scenario. And that is why this for boxing is a very risky event.
It is, because there's always that potential that you're still hitting people, you're still punching, and they'll be shipping some kind of damage. How severe we don't know because of what they're. Is it 12-ounce gloves?
I did hear it was 12-ounce gloves.
I heard it was 12, but no, is it Headguards as well, or no Headguards? I
don't think it's Headguards. They have been pretty vague. While they've been trying to get people to pay, they have been pretty vague. Because it's only been the last few days that it's sort of come out that there's no winner, as far as I'm concerned, because everybody thinks it's going to be a fight. Otherwise, no one would pay. No one would pay if they thought. They certainly wouldn't pay £19.95. I don't know what it will be in America, of course, because the pay-per-views in America are really expensive compared to ours.
Yeah.
So if
I'm paying £20, I want to see a tear-up.
Well, you want to see a competitive matchup, even if it's slower in sort of what we're used to seeing on 30 years ago, which it will be. You still want that. It's a fight. It's a fight, and you're paying for the fight. You're not paying for a dance around, which I think it might be. They're probably bringing a COVID rule, distancing that they can't get within 2 metres of each other, and then that really will complete the farce. But let's hope it's not. So I think we've covered it there. Everyone's hoping that it is going to be a fight. If it's an exhibition, I think they'll just be inundated with refund claims, because it would be false pretences, really, to charge £19.95 for a exhibition. Damien, thank you very much for that. Really looking forward to the fight, even though I'm not going to pay the £19.95. What normally happens, the closer I get to an event, suddenly I start going, well, it is Mike Tyson and it is Roy Jones. I am not ruling out the fact that I will click the button to buy now and then go, oh, I wish I hadn't have done that, but I'm going to watch it anyway, which has happened in the past quite a few times. So thanks very much, Damien. We look forward to it with interest. Hope you enjoyed our little chat there about that. Okay, so please like and subscribe to Fit to Box channel, and I shall speak to you soon.